Hello, my name is David Duran, and I'm one of the owners of Ultimate Poolscapes of Texas. We're located here in the beautiful city of Woodway, and we build swimming pools in the Woodway, Waco, Hewitt, Lorena, McGregor, and China Spring area. And sometimes we venture out a little bit further, so we don't have a problem building pools in Temple, Belton, Austin, Dallas. We actually build pools and I've been doing it for about 22 years and have tons of experience and great employees. So we're one of the only few companies that actually build the pool ourselves. So basically, we have our own equipment, we have our own operators, our own plumbers, our own tile mason guys, and we do our own steel for the pool and you know a lot of people when they say, "Hey, I'm a pool builder," so this is kind of confusing to me, and I'm trying to set the record straight because I see a lot of things on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and most of these guys that claim to be a pool builder are just a pool contractor. So I'm trying to set the record straight, clear the air, because to be a pool builder, you actually excavate it yourself, you actually rebar it yourself, you actually plumb it, you do all the masonry work. The only thing that I sub out to anyone is just the gunite and the plaster. So the flat work we take care of in house, whether it be a stamped style uh, flat work or washed aggregate or just plain broom finish with colors or salt finishes. We're experts at what we do, and I control every aspect of the build process. So you're just a contractor if you sub everything out. You're a pool builder if you actually get your hands dirty, you do it, and you have your own employees, your own equipment. That's when you can call yourself a pool builder. So now that I've set the record straight, please, feel free to call Ultimate Poolscapes at 254-224-6646. And we'd be glad to give you a free estimate. We'll come out and we'll evaluate the site and make sure that, we're capable of putting in the pool that you actually want. We listen to you. We try to understand what you want, and we're very conscious about your budget. So with that being said, there's a budget for a pool for everyone. And some people think that, hey, well, I can't afford it, or how do I build a pool, and is there financing that's involved? And the answer is yes and yes. Um, no matter how small the backyard is, as long as we have enough room to comply with city codes, we're able to do it. But as far as financing is concerned, we partnered with Lion Financial, and we've been partners with them for over 16, 17 years. And this company has uh, been absolutely amazing to our clients. They've never had a bad word or a bad experience. And they have wonderful rates. And I think right now it's a carryover of 6.99, and you have to have at least a 650 and above credit score. And it's a non collateralized loan. So you don't have to put up your house or anything to get a loan for a pool. So that's a major plus when you're out actually trying to build something, because you're not sitting here frustrated and thinking, I really want something for my kids, or I want something for my wife. And wouldn't it be a wonderful, opportunity to build a pool in the backyard, and people have, dream about this stuff. Well, now we have the tools that we can help you build that pool in your backyard. So give us a call again. I have 22 years of experience in this business. Uh, if I don't claim to know everything, and a lot of people that I see on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, they say they know everything. Well, that's a lie. Things are ever changing in this business. Each pool is different, um, and you know it's not easy doing what I do and what we do in this business because you're dealing with a lot of variables. You're dealing with um, composition of the land, slope, um, materials. So there's a lot of key components that, if you don't know what you're doing, you can definitely have an issue. And, like I said, we have a good resource, and I'm friends with engineers and friends with the people at the city. And, I have people that, if I don't know an answer, I can certainly get it. So feel confident that and trusting that, when you choose us to build your pool, um, you're choosing the best. Um, I I really like what I do. I've been doing it a long time, so it's a pleasure, meeting and talking to new clients and hearing their ideas. And I have my own, and I give it to them, when they ask me. But for the most part, we're designing something just for this particular client, and it's unique. It's not a cookie cutter kind of process that we say, oh, well, here's a pool right here. Here's the dimensions. This should work. No, it's a custom pool. Everybody wants benches and areas, tanning ledges. Um, I mean, radiuses, geometric form, water features. I mean, there's so many things available, and we try to present everything to them so that way they know exactly what they want and when they want it, how soon, what the process is, and how do we get started. Um, but most of the important things is when we're in the process is design. We actually have someone in our office, Laura. I'll give a shout out to her. She does all the designs for the meetings, and people are able to see their pool, their house, and everything come to life. And that's kind of where the magic begins, is actually seeing something and thinking, wow, this could be something that I've been dreaming and wishing for. And like I said, it's one of those things. Once you see it on the screen and come to life, I mean, it takes your breath away. It's nice that Laura can put people in the pool, have a little animation, but it's nice being able to actually look through the windows through the house and actually see the pool from an interior perspective looking outward, and it adds a whole different value to what we do, and bringing it to life. And then Jackie helping with the design as well, picking out materials, making sure that what we put in the pool as far as the tile, the coping, and the flat work matches the house. Nobody wants to put a tile in that doesn't match and looks awkward. So kudos to Jackie. She does an excellent job at picking and helping them, with materials. That's a huge, huge step and a benefit, that she's got a really good eye for all those things. The plaster, how they want the water to look. So that's giant. And the other thing, we got Madi. She is our in-house. She's our secretary, and she takes care of a lot of the scheduling, and she's an integral part of what we do here. Without her, I tell you what, it'd be difficult to keep this place running, because she is that one person that stays on top of everything, makes sure that things get ordered, and we have everything to build the pool. So a shout out to Madi. She's been with us a few years, and we appreciate her and everything that she does for us. So I want to talk real fast about something that happened this week on, I believe it was Tuesday. The guys were traveling south on 35, and they were pulled over by a state trooper. And he pulled us over, and he wanted to, check the trailer, check the truck, and they have a job to do, and they want things to be safe and people that are traveling to be safe. I get it, but he issued some warnings and gave one ticket, for something that was, I think it was minimal, but it is what it is. We have to obey the law and respect, and know that he's got a job to do. So I have no hard feelings. Hey, um, it is what it is, and so we move forward. But on the bright side of things, honestly, um, I had to have the trailer repaired while I was in Temple. So I want to throw out a huge shout out to a guy named Robbie Weatherby. He is the owner of Construction Edge in Temple and in Waco. Jeff Johnson is a friend of mine, so I was able to call, and where we were pulled over which was really close to their store in Temple, and that we were able to get the trailer there, get it fixed, and get it back on the road, and get the machine uh, back down to Temple, and so that way we could, begin work and grading a backyard there in the Temple area. So once again, a big shout out to these guys because they were phenomenal. If it wasn't for them helping me out, we'd still be in Temple with that truck and trailer. So anyway, thank you so much. Let's see. Let's move on to service. So we picked up some pools this week. On our service route. So I want to say thank you to those clients that decided to jump on board with us. Um, there's always things that go on with swimming pools. So you guys have our office number, but we use this particular program called Skimmer, and it keeps track of the guys that are out in the field, and they report things. They send everything via email to our clients, and they're able to see how long they were there, what kind of chemicals they added, if there are any issues. Um, when you have mechanical motors and things on your pool, with the summer heat and Texas sun for sure, things can go out and wear out. So thank God we have a warehouse that we house parts, motors, pumps, heaters, filters, lights. So we're fully stocked. Being a pool company. And that goes back to, hey, are you a pool builder or are you a pool contractor? So a pool builder will always have an inventory. He will have those parts that you need to make repairs, whether it be, a whole pump, a motor, a capacitor, a pump seal, sand, laterals, bleeder valves. I mean, these are things that most people in the business, don't know, and they're trying to learn. So, Facebook, Instagram, all those are, and YouTube are good, resources. But you've got to go out in the field and actually, practice and hone your skills. And and not just jump in. Oh, I'm a home builder, and now I decided to build swimming pools. That's kind of a current trend right now, and all they do is sub everything out, and they know nothing about hydraulics and construction on pools. They can build a house, wooden frame, but building a pool and building a house are two different things. So you really have to respect the people that do each trade. I'm not going to ever build a house because I don't know anything about building houses, but I will build you the best swimming pool, and I will keep everything in mind from your opinion to keeping a timely build process. So, with that being said, thank you for tuning in to this podcast. If there's questions and that you need, leave a note. Drop a line on our DM, and I'll get back with you and answer your questions. Whether it's something to do with the build or water chemistry or a part that you're having a hard time finding, our office at 254-224-6646, they can answer your questions. Marty has all the resources at her fingertips, and then I'm available. So what she doesn't know, I can answer questions, help you guys out. So once again, thanks for tuning into the podcast. And I like to end each session with our motto: you dream it, we build it. Thanks again.